What is going on, everybody? Good morning. Beautiful morning. Happy Friday. So happy to be here with you all. We have a really exciting, a really important episode. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to cover a lot. We're going to walk away, hopefully understanding a little more than we did before we got together. It's what we do. It's what we do. By the way, what a beautiful morning. What a pleasure to share it with you all. This is Jordan from Conquer Trading Investing. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. The honeymoon instrumental at the beginning of the show is just absolutely, it brings everything back that we've done, that we've been through. It's absolutely beautiful, and it shows that where we're going. I think that the honeymoon vocals brings it down a notch. So I think that I'm going to go back to the style that I was doing with the honeymoon instrumental at the beginning. And then at the end of the show, after we did what we came here to do, and now it's time to kind of just sit back and relax and enjoy a little bit more, we could go with the honeymoon vocals towards the end. I think that was going to provide a really good rhythm. We're looking at Bitcoin trading at $54,700. Looks good over here this Friday. Let's jump over down to the 8-hour to get a nice clean look at it. A clean look at it. And by clean, I mean this is the resistance that we're watching at this particular point in time, that once we clear above it, that the move starts. The move that we've been setting up for almost a week now. It was 6 days ago as price was falling, as YouTubers were going crazy with fear, that we were like, listen, it's going to be a sharp V-shape, very sharp recovery. And here we are a week later and people are like, oh, wait a second. Wow, I see the V. I see it now, And it's because of halving tracker. It's been a while since we've looked at the halving tracker. We have to look at these beautiful charts that we see over here. And it really just illustrates to us very clearly, very easily, the 4-year cycle. It was the work that Charts BTC shared, that I began sharing a year and a half ago with you all, that helped me see and understand the 4-year cycle. It was Charts BTC, which I first saw, lining this up using the all-time high, because Charts BTC lined it up each and every way. He sliced the 4-year cycle and he just keeps lining it up, whether you're looking at the bear market cycle high or the bear market cycle low, whether you're looking at the halving event itself as the halving tracker does, or whether you're using the most correct signal. What we've moved towards is the previous all-time high. A big shout out of love to the halving tracker, first Charts BTC, helping me see and understand the 4-year cycle. And the halving tracker, it is what has helped us set up each and every move in advance. You can't keep tracking it, Jordan, though. Everyone sees it now. Well, that might be. More and more people are seeing it. That's for sure. And that's good. But Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Let's continue to watch over here. What we're expecting right now, as that V has been set up over here, the V shape, the very sharp, recovery. We see the last line of defense here for the bears is this trend line resistance. Once we break above that, we're going to see an extension out, an extension out, an extension out. And as this extension is expected to take us, let's just call it much higher, rip your face off move incoming right now on Bitcoin. That's what we're setting up. That's what we're watching. Where's the risk to the downside, Jordan? I feel pretty comfortable right now. Jordan, I feel pretty comfortable seeing price holding this channel over here. Some might look at this as a bull flag. And yes, you're correct. If you see the bull flag that's over here, there's no question about that. People, as long as we're above this bit of the last break of repair, this trend line over here, this is a very uber bullish market. Yes, we need to clear the trend line to set this thing off, And then, also we have over here this very important trend line that's in play, that's currently holding right now. Above these two things, the market looks very, get below those things, something's wrong. Make sure you lighten up any lightly leveraged position. Something's not right. At that point, you got to make sure that you're protected. Either which way, we don't really need to. I say that. Listen, people, I'm not going to be spitting fire, by the way, at Dan or anything like that. I'm here to help. I'm here to bring clarity. I'm here to bring clarity, and we'll get into that in a second because we kind of got into it a little bit. But all I was doing was trying to get him to be able to make sure that he's out there helping people, right? That he's out that he gets it right. I think that's very important over there. We're working together to change the world. Let's make sure we keep on top of that. Look, I'm not worried about the downside. I'm not worried about breaking below this last line of repair. We've already come in and tested it. We came in yesterday afternoon. We tested down over here and are resuming off of it. It looks good. I know that the options are expiring. I feel pretty confident that Bitcoin is right on time over here. Nevertheless, if we lose this trend line over here, that's a sign of a technical break. When I say this trend line, I'm talking about this trend line over here. I only have it going back to December. It goes back further if I wanted to. But whatever, rough guide. This is what I need to see. Above that last line of repair, above this trend line, we're looking very good. Get below this last line of repair, then we could be down and testing the one below it. That could get ugly. We could see much lower. We could take out that low over here back in February 21, right around 43. It could happen. Just don't ever get too confident. Don't ever get too frothy where you start doing things that you shouldn't do. You always want to be in control. It's the most important thing over here. And you should be in absolute control right now, breaking above this trend line, setting off that impulse that we've been setting up for ourselves, setting it up, well in advance. It's who we are. It's what we do. I just want to say thank you to the Halving Tracker for all the work that you've put out. It's so beautiful watching the 4-year cycle. And once people start seeing it, it becomes really, really beautiful to them. And if you're missing it, I want you to see it. Look, I'm gonna start over here with Dan explaining over here his Supercycle, right? So let's take a look over here. It's about a minute long.
Validate. So let's do the flip. I won't answer for you. You tell me what the invalidation signals are.
I would say we hit invalidation signal would be we hit that predicted range 100 to 300,000. So it hits that, and we draw down 80%, like every other.
Okay, Dan clearly defining the invalidation of the supercycle. What the supercycle will be. He's saying Bitcoin trades within the expected range of 100 to 300,000, and then doesn't have an 80% drawdown. Perfect. All right. Couple of things over here, Dan. Listen, if price trades with less than an 80% drawdown, there's no question about it. You could define it as a super cycle. There's a lot of people right now watching a podcast, a beginner's podcast, right? Like what Bitcoin did, who are new to the space and they're learning. And when they start seeing someone talking about a super cycle, as they're hearing Michael Saylor talking about, listen, never sell Bitcoin. You don't sell an asset that everyone else wants. The institutions are here. This time is different. It's if you're new to the space, this is what you're being bombarded with. This is the noise that you're hearing everywhere. Oh, Bitcoin's coming off exchanges. Yeah, that's true. We do have an anomaly data set on chain of Bitcoin at this point in bull market cycle leaving exchanges. We're aware of it. We're watching it. We're watching everything. But we've gone steps ahead. We understand that the Bitcoin, the cycle here is largely most dependent on the Federal Reserve and the central banking monetary policy. We understand that we have super easy monetary conditions right now, not only from the worldwide central banks, but also from governments over here. And we see Bitcoin outperforming last cycle. Is it gonna outperform the 2013 cycle and become a super cycle? Because really, oh no. Did I drop the halving? Let me, as I'm talking over here, let me bring up the Bitcoin halving. I'm gonna need to refer to the chart that we all know so well over here. Let me just bring that up. Boom. Anyway, listen, if we're breaking out into a super cycle, that would mean that we would have to be outperforming 2013, right? Otherwise, how is it a super cycle? The expected range we're looking is for us to trade within the first cycle and second cycle. And as of today, price seems to be almost a direct average of the two, right? So if you're looking at this, you have to have some clarity. Let me go a little further over here, right? Price trades between 250,000, 800,000. It's within range. You're telling us over 300,000 is a super cycle. It seems, Dan, all models are indicating Bitcoin over 300,000. When I say all models, I mean, if you look around Twitter, this thread is built on some elite crypto folk, right? TA and on-chain included. I didn't see anything about CTM in here. I did not. But you have over here starting off with Willy Woo. And Willy Woo is giving us in September, by the way, right on signal. And you'll see a lot of these models that we're going to be looking at over here. I don't even know what they are. Look, you could find the thread, you could look through it, but he's giving us over 300,000 in September. Why that's important? Because as people are watching these beginner podcasts, you know, listen to how he describes the bull market phase and when it ends. We feel like everyone sees what we see, right? And like it's so clear. There's no question if you're following what's going on the Conquering the Market CTM that you're Neo in the Matrix. You see the Matrix, and you feel like everyone else must once you see it, because once it clicks, once you see the floor, you can't unsee it. All of a sudden, you know, once you take the red pill, you can't untake it once you have that knowledge. But other people don't have that knowledge yet. Listen to what we're talking about, the bull market ending between November and February, right? Right where Raoul Pal, maybe you did an interview with Raoul Pal, because that's where Raoul Pal expects that. Listen.
Okay. So I guess then the time frame you're looking at is if we have a more intense bull run, it's between here and the end of the bull run, which could be, let's give it a broad range of between November and February-ish. That's like
between November and February, looking for the bull market TM. That is Peter's shift. That's absolutely classic, the best ever trolling on Peter's part over here. This is, what is it, Peter McCormick? I think it's Peter McCormick. If I got that wrong, someone please correct me. Peter Schiff photo in the background. It's absolutely beautiful. Not everyone sees the bull market ending when we see the bull market ending. You have people out there, and I suppose that, like, if you're talking about Raul, maybe you're talking about institutions. Then his friends are definitely, you know, in November to February seems a little off. Willy Woo talking 330,000 in September. So far, he's willing to raise that. Of course, we have Plan B, stock to flow X. That gives us 288,000. But everyone knows that, and everybody knows. And Dan, I see you commenting all the time on Plan B's tweets. It's not as if you don't know. It's not as if you don't know what the expected range of the Bitcoin bull market cycle. It's a little bit disingenuous when you're telling people that no one's been talking about this super cycle that I invented in 2019 until this January, and now all of a sudden everyone in the space is talking about a super cycle, and people think the institutions are here and this time is different. You're aware of Plan B's stock to flow model. It's 288,000 target, but it overshoots every time. It overshoots every time. We're not looking at using this model, a 288,000 price target. We're looking well above, but you know that. You know that, Dan, because I know you follow Plan B's work. And if you're not, you know, well, you are. So it's, again, that's my question. We'll bring it back to it. If you're looking at, I don't know what this model is, the mean dollar invested age, an on-chain metric, right? Who is this? This is coming from Sentiment. I'm not familiar with this, but it's giving us a price target of 360 late September. Again, in that same area that we are doing our own work over here. You have stock to flow. All these models are over $300,000, Dan. So let's get on the same page over here, right? The expected 555,000 is simply just the average between the first two cycles, a 28x return. By the way, Ian, Ted, everyone answering the call here to make sure that we have Conquering the Market charts over here. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for all the work that you continue to do over here. This is absolute beauty over here. And price so far has been simply an average of the two between. Now, there are people who don't expect that's going to continue. There are people who think that as we get towards the top over here, that we're going to drop below the last cycle, diminishing returns. Okay, listen, you could have that idea, but to this date, the market's showing you that you're wrong. That's not what's happening over here. All right, what else? Trying to help out. Listen, and I was just trying to help out. This was a very nice tweet over here. Hey Dan, listen, all models indicate over 300,000. Look, the average between 555,000. This cycle so far has been an average of the previous two cycles. It's the full-year cycle, Dan. And his comment was a little bit snarky, right? He's like, yeah, thanks for the clarification, guy. All right, Dan. It seems a little bit disingenuous telling people a super cycle's over 300,000 when everyone expects price coming in over $300,000 today. And he's like, listen, a little defensive. Look, people keep upping their estimates. Since I came out with the theory in 2019, listen, Dan, listen, Dan, a commodity super cycle is not a new theory discovered in 2019. There's no question about that. A super cycle is a market phenomenon. If you were the first in 2019 it's like me saying support and resistance. No one ever talked about it in Bitcoin before I did. Breakout, retest, resumption, right? All markets trade with the same behavior. Nevertheless, listen, you're the guy. You're the guy, Dan. You invented the term in 2019 of super cycle when it comes to Bitcoin. That's awesome. That's fine. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about is you telling people that this theory that you invented is correct. If Bitcoin trades over $300,000, Dan, that's not correct. All models expect that. If you're going to go out there, let's go out there and let's speak the truth. All right. And Dan, if you didn't know, it's either you were disingenuous and you do know this and you're trying to make yourself look right so that you could maybe sell in newsletters. I don't know, but if it's the latter, Dan, if you don't understand, if this is a serious lack of understanding, I want to help you. I really want to help you. So anyway, that's what that was all about over here. And I do try to help them, again, using Ian's chart over here, the bull of all bulls, showing, listen, and this was also Charts BTC, the first one to show me, a 39x from the all-time previous high. It sends us where? Towards $800,000. A 17.4x, the 2017 cycle. What is this cycle going to do? We have super easy Fed monetary policy, right? It's outperforming the previous cycle while underperforming. You do the math, right? If we just match 217 bull market phase, a 17.4x, it gives us Bitcoin 342,000. Listen, I just really want to help. But if you're going to come out there and you're going to respond and you're going to be like, hey, thanks for the clarification, or like, I'm the inventor of the term in 2019 super cycle, even though like comes from the commodity market. All right, Dan. All right, let's get everyone. Let's make sure that everyone that's into the space over here has the information they need to be able to go ahead and make the correct decisions. And Dan, if you were that far off on what your projections were as you did this interview this week, let me help you. The expected range of Bitcoin is not between 100 and 300,000. Every model that we're looking at, when I say I'm talking about the space as a whole, right? Again, you comment on Plan B's on his tweets all the time. You're very aware of his price targets, and they're well above $300,000, Dan. So if you're going to talk about, the drawdown being less than 80%, of course, that's a super cycle. If we see a 50, 60% drawdown in Bitcoin during the bear market, you are the man. That was a super cycle. And not only that, you called it. You called the model breaking before it broke. You called the model breaking before it broke, and you got that. There's no question. But we're going to know within 6 weeks of the top over here. Within 6 weeks of the top, we're going to see Bitcoin come off almost 70%. And we're going to know right away this was not a super cycle. I'm giving you exact time frames and dates. I'm not telling you because they tried to define of when you would be wrong about your theory. And they give like a 3-year period. They also give the end of the bear market, by the way, into late 2023. The lack of understanding of the 4-year cycle coming out from these people who portray themselves as experts within the space is sincerely, severely lacking. And they got to be called out on that, got to be called out on that. I know it. But listen, my flock, my family, they watch these things. They consult these things. And if it's being presented to them as truth, then I want to take a look at it. And I want to make sure that they have another reference point to inform their own decisions of what they believe is happening. I obviously think it's very dangerous for someone to hodl and not sell their Bitcoin top cycle, right? In my opinion, listen, you got to do the math. We'll be talking about later also when we see what tax plans being introduced, because a lot of people in this community, they're in that 0.3% of those in the United States making over $1 million in capital gains, and their decisions, we're looking at, if it's being raised and it's not retroactive through 2021, it's going to make a lot of sense, in my opinion, to be taking We'll talk about it later. I'm not tax advice whatsoever, but just throwing things out there to help you form your own opinions over there. Thank you, Ted. Ted has gone ahead and created this script over here, putting together, again, the work that we're doing here, making sure that, using, by the way, Ian's new all-time high, lining this up correctly. When I say Ian's, there's no question about it, Ian. I mean Charts BTC. A big shout out, doing all the work, getting me early to see the 4-year cycle and being able to go ahead and contribute my work over here. Here he has lining up the new all-time high, showing the 39x from the last all-time high, the 17x. This seems to us to be the best way to line up the 4-year cycle. And we're seeing events, the shakeout occurring on schedule, on time over here. And it's helping us line up the stretch home over here. The stretch home. We have 2 more waves into that vertical blow off top, right? And we're doing it. We're going to talk about this. Cal, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit in the CTM training session. We're going to talk about that. Listen, question. You were targeting 160,000 based on math from previous cycles, bringing us, I don't know what he's saying. Just wondering if it's the fundamentals are playing into the stimulus. What's changing, Jordan? Listen, when I first did the math a year and a half ago, and I presented to you during, coming in about 6 months before the halving, when I presented to you the case for the trade that needed to be made, I was using diminishing returns because I wanted to be right? So what I did was, if you take the 2013 divided by 3, you had the 2017, return. It was a third less. So if you do that again with the 2017 for 2021, you get 160,000. I said if Bitcoin hits 140,000, make sure that you have achieved all your goals. But we've also said the whole way, listen, we're students of the market, and what the market's showing us, we're going to adapt to. I don't need to put out a theory that I could talk about on podcasts so that I have a talking point to talk about and then try to fit what happens within that theory. I just want to know what is. So setting ourselves up, going into this bull market run, if price hit 140,000, using 1/3 diminishing returns, mission accomplished. People thought that was a little, crazy, seeing those type of numbers, 160. But then we had the crisis. We had the crisis in March, right? And then the Fed's response was to increase their balance sheet by $4.1 trillion. Not just the Fed, worldwide central banks, uber easy monetary conditions. And now you have the US government just spending trillions of dollars. Obviously the market showed us with this uber easy monetary, it was outperforming the 2013 cycle. It was as quick as possible. As soon as possible, we were like, listen, we're not seeing diminishing returns or anything close to that. We're seeing increasing returns this cycle, making sure that we continue to stay on the right side of the trade. Right? By the way, I've been talking about for a long time the coming bear market low, right? And over the last couple of weeks, I've been saying to you, I'm not sure. It feels like this could be it. I'm not sure that this was a nice affirmation of that. We got I can't pronounce the name here. It's an important one though. Flib. Flib was the only other trader that I know that got the bear market low when I got it, and Jack Sparrow. Those 2 are the only other that I know that were on point with myself at the right time. The Flib and Jack Sparrow. I'm going to call them out over there because it's very important over there. You gotta consult those who have a history of getting it right. There's no question about that. He's talking about if you take the previous 3 times the previous all-time high, 19,500, 3x in the past, that is giving you the coming bear market low. Interesting. Right? Only that it's pointing us in the same area that we've been looking at over there. So is Bitcoin cheap over here as we're getting ready to break out into this next big impulse, which we expect to be a rip your face off impulse move, trading at $55,000, call it. It was at Bitcoin $55,000 last week when I was like, Bitcoin's cheap. I think I might call my family and tell them this is the last time. Are we trading right now below the coming bear market low or right about it? I do think so. Oh, so what's going on? We light up 1,600 people here on this Friday together. 16. If you're enjoying the information that's being shared, the heart that it's being shared to you with, go ahead and smash that like button. It sincerely helps the channel. It helps others like you. It helps the algorithm show them what's going on over here so they could get involved. So either way, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful what we're watching and experiencing over here this morning. What else do we want to talk about and share? Step ahead. CTM, always a step ahead of the herd as the bull of all bulls. And that's what we continue to do over here. We saw this a lot as it happened. A lot of people were like, oh, yeah, look, before coming into it, we were worried for it. And then by the way, let's talk about this over here. As we made this all-time high, as we broke out over here and making that next all-time high, that impulse out of that trend line over here. Do you remember that we were like, this was like somewhere around the 14th of April, a couple of weeks ago. And as soon as that happened, this looks good. This looks healthy. We're coming off a double pullback. There's a chance we don't have the shakeout this time. We don't know. There's a chance that we don't have the shakeout. It looks like we're not going to have the shakeout this time, actually. But we have options expiring at the end of the month in just 2 weeks. Do we think that Bitcoin is going to be able to make its move? We were just worried about it. I honestly thought that, it looks like you got to follow price and price action. It looks like as we break off over here, coming off the double pullback, we're not going to have the shakeout. And that was until 2 Fridays ago when price broke this trend line. Price broke this trend line over here. It was 62,500, and that was the technical break. You had to deleverage, and then if you were still holding up until $58,500, it was you were wrong. You were just wrong below that. So anyway, here we go, getting ready to go. How funny will it be? How funny will it be if the options expire and then we have a clean breakup? That would be ironic. I don't know what's going to happen next. It looks like, as we've been saying, that by Monday we've started to move up, and we're approaching somewhere around this area over here. Just under 62,000. If we break above clean and fast, fantastic. We'll see what happens. Everyone has that keen focus on the technicals over here. You can't get any more intricate than we got over here at CTM. It's simple, it's clean, and it's intricate. You know exactly where you are. You know where to set your risk levels off of. And by the way, this question came up for someone in the Discord. We're going to be talking about it this morning in the training session as we get ready over here. Training session is laser precision, for the next 2 waves into the blow off top over here. We're going to make sure that we continue to crush this. We're going to make sure that we continue to get this rate. We're going to be talking about all, the different strategies going into these last couple of moves, whether that's trading, just holding Bitcoin, no leverage, whether it's holding Bitcoin and taking loans out against your holdings, or whether it's trading Bitcoin lightly leveraged. We're going to be reviewing that together. We're going to be looking at this is just looking right now at the next impulse, by the way. We have 2 more waves. This is wave 1, then we have wave 2, and then the blow off top. Right? So we're focused right now and we've been, by the way, coming out of these corrections, strategy number 2, 3 ways to trade the bull market, CTM, and the most effective way is scaling in on those drawdowns. We've been we've become so how am I trying to word this to all of you? Our forte has become breaking out of these corrections when that repair is with the greatest precision I've seen across markets. You listen, you got to follow what we're doing over here. We're just all over it. What else are we looking at today? Let's take a look clearly across the markets. Interesting that the bottom of this bear flag is holding as support. Price is bouncing off of it so far. We're coming off this double bear flag over here, breaking down outside of this bear flag, because we had this fake out to the upside. Fake out. And by the way, how often have we looked at, especially you can see it clearly on the S&P 500, when we break to the upside of channels. This is something that I saw another channel, the Game of Trade, steal. A lot of other channels watch what we do here, and they just they mimic the work that we do, but they present it as their own. That's why I'm giving that shout out over here this morning. Everything that we do here, the root of it comes from Charts BTC. laying out the 4-year cycle. And then my chart of choice has been the halving tracker. You know, it just never was lined up correctly. I kept having to lining it up in my head, you know, until we were able to deferring back to charts BTC, lining it up off the all-time high, Ian going ahead and then presenting the most beautiful chart of all to us. Absolutely, absolutely love it. Grateful for it. Where that this over here. You got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to these channels. When price breaks up, it's usually a blow off top event. You have it again occurring over here. You have this nice channel, and then when price breaks up to the upside, are we seeing that happening on Ethereum right now? I'm not sure. I'm going to look with you in a second. All right. Anyway, I don't see it happening over here. It's something that we're aware of and we watch for. What chart was I just on that was occurring? Let me fall back to it really quick because I want to know. You know, the DXY. The DXY. So you had this happen over here. You had this, what I'm calling a fake out of a bear flag. It did occur. I'm just making an observation because that's how I got to where I am today, is by being a student of the market, by observing the market, by letting the market show me, and following price. So anyway, I'm looking at this massive weakness down over here, and now I'm seeing price developing into this bear. A breakdown over here is what really could send it. By the way, that would be super helpful for Bitcoin over here during the next 4.5 months into the blow off top if we're seeing a breakdown on the dollar. Of course, that's going to continue to help us maintain this pace between the 2013 and the 2017 cycle. Uber easy monetary conditions. What's going to happen in August at Jackson Hole as all the banksters meet? Is the conversation following that meeting at the end of October into September going to be talking about hiking and a rate hike? And is that what's going to be blamed on the peak of the Bitcoin bull market over here? That could very well be. There's going to be a narrative. And after Bitcoin peaks, someone's going to tell you why that happened. Right? Just so you know, today, what month are we in? We're about to go into May 1st, at the end of April, and we've been telling you when for a long time, and not the what is, not why. Someone else will make up a reason of why that happened, like the CME futures were launched or something like that. We'll see. We will see. We will see. But this is what we're focused on right now. We're focused on these next 2 waves into the blow off top. If you get a different look at this blow off top over here and you look at it not at price terms, but in percentage terms, let me see if I can pull that up for you. Like over here, this is the 2017. This is that beautiful chart I was just looking at with you. Let me see if I can pull it back up, and hopefully I can. The flow, so off the flow, right? Anyway, what we're looking at, this is that 1 wave, 2 wave. This is the blow off top. Look at this happening in a percentage term. It's absolutely mind-boggling and that's the 2017. If we have the 2013, that's just like a massive vertical climb up. Do we think we're going to have a super cycle outperforming that? I don't think so. Could it happen? Yeah, I guess it could happen. It seems like a very low probability to me. I don't know. It seems like price continues to be on an average of the 2. And so what we're going to be looking at is something like this. It's massive. I've been trying to prepare you the whole way so that there's the chart right here. So that this is a massive return that you're looking at in percentage terms. A lot of people are interested in copper, or is it lumber now? I forget. What is copper up this year? Is it up 95%? Bravo. What do you got the S&P? Is it up 8%? Amazing. You got to focus on this. You got to focus on this. We got to get it right. 600 likes. Man, what's going on in here, guys? Could you share a little love? If you're watching this on the replay, we're a little light today. Could you help out, spread the love, smash that like button? Pretty obvious, right? So Brian, it's pretty obvious that Ethereum's, outperforming Bitcoin this cycle, right? But where did you hear that first and how long ago, right? Because it was back in 2019, early 2000? I'm telling you, that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin. I know a lot of people right now, you know, oh, here, this is, we were just looking at, this is on log scale. We were just looking at what's going on. What chart am I looking at over here? And how do I get back to my candles? Oh, I don't know what just happened over here. Let's do this. Let me bring up another Ethereum. How do I get back to there, folks? We got a problem over here where my charts are off. I'm on candles though. Huh. There we go. All right, Ethereum, Bitcoin. We were just talking about these channels and the breakout to the upside. So hey, listen, if you just positioned in at the resistance into Ethereum, Bitcoin, right? The last time that we brought it up publicly was down over here as we were into the support. Now, I didn't say that I was taking this trade. I wasn't. I'm positioned into Bitcoin, mindfully, with precision, uber concentrated into the Bitcoin position, you know, and for a long time. But I told you ahead of time which was going to outperform, you know, very clearly. And I told you if you got into that trade, where you're going to want to exit that trade, what, a year and a half before it's happening, you know. But if you up here got into the trade, why are you so late? First of all, why, when we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, this coming back into a confluence of support, horizontal support and that trend line support, that's not where you were looking, because you have a really good risk reward to get into the trade. Up here, be careful. You know, are we seeing some type of event where you see that big blow off top? Are we about to see, you know, Bitcoin right on time make that big super strong move into the blow off top, where then Ethereum will take the baton and run against Bitcoin? Be careful for it. You know, this is the wrong time to be flipping into Ethereum. Who, you know, I see a lot of people, whether it's in the comments on YouTube or on Twitter, talking about that, like they're making that trade now. I have a very difficult time understanding that, as do all of you who watch CTM regularly. I don't know where they got that from. I don't know how. Is it from Raul? I did hear Raul recently say that he's now going, like, selling his Bitcoin to buy Ethereum. You know, listen, again, we try to help as many as we can. We don't get many views. I'm not concerned about that. I'm not going to try to grow the channel for the sake of views at any time. I prefer quality. I'm happy with this, like, beautiful family that we have. This is great. But when there's other people out there, you know, whether it's genuine or disingenuous, at sometimes I begin to wonder, you know, but I don't know. But be careful, you know, just be careful. If you get a retest into that trend line and resume off of it, by the way, well, that's a really good technical signal to continue being long Ethereum versus Bitcoin. You know, a very clear and good signal. Be watching out for that next. Right? All I'm saying here is, listen, the time to talk about Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin, we did that over a year ago and consistently up until alt season began. I always say what's happening before it happens, not as it's happening or afterwards. Right? So, you know, and it was last time, late November, early December, you look at the channel videos and you'll see alt season begins right here. Boom. That's when we stop talking about it, you know? So anyway, where are we at, my friends? No, he's not. No, he's not. You know, again, just, yeah, anyway, I tried to reach out. I tried to help, you know, and look, that material is being presented to a lot of beginners on what Bitcoin did, you know, and then they're talking about the bull market ending in November to February. People believe this stuff. That's a great confirmation that not everyone sees that what we see. Now, we saw and we looked at that thread with all the models, and a lot of those models have Bitcoin peaking in September. I do like that. When I see the, quote unquote experts all giving the same time frame that we see. Do you remember how early we got onto that? Do you remember how early everyone's looking in December? The 2013, 2017, they both peaked in December. This bull market's peak in December. Oh yeah, okay. That's not the math we're using. We're focused over here. And then to see other people also at the end of September having their models, people that I would say are more in the know. Well, that makes me feel really good about where we are. And it makes me feel really good when other people are talking about, this was what I wanted to play the other day, this analyst on CNBC. Oh no, this is a different video. I saw CNBC down over here. That's this video over here. That's this video over here where this analyst just a few days ago on the 26th of April was telling us that Bitcoin is going down and taking out, $42,000. People listen to this stuff. 26,000 views. It's a lot of views. And that was last week. This podcast over here from Value Entertainment, and it's Bitcoin expert predicts a $1 trillion market cap, Anthony Papalano. This is a good one. If you're looking for something to watch this afternoon, go ahead and watch this one. That's some good stuff over there, like what I'm hearing as I continue to watch it. And this is the beauty. Ian, we got to get a higher resolution photo over here. This is just the thing that I want to stare at all the time. Once you see the matrix, you can't unsee it. We're focused now on the one wave, the two wave, into the blow off top, and then we're going to be positioning ourselves for the bear market. We know when the bear market ends with the capitulation event, right? And it will be an 80-85% drawdown, and we'll know that within 6 weeks as we see price come off almost 70% before bouncing, either which way. Bear market low, plan B, help me see it, with his charts showing how many more months to the next halving and the color coding. It's dark green right over here. It's approximately 15 months to the next halving. We'll know it by the capitulation. That's how we'll know that we hit the bear market low, when we see the capitulation event. Whether or not it's 18 or 13 months to the next halving, we're going to be right in that perfect zone over there. And then we're going to get ready for that next event. The next event is that big price appreciation that occurs off the capitulation, right? This was back in 2019, or this is an Adam and Eve bottom, by the way. This over here is where I call the bottom of the bear market. And it was after seeing the capitulation and then a bottom patterning put in. It's what we do. We focus in on price. We have the events to watch out for, but then we focus in on price. That's actually the perfect lead in to today's session. In about 40 minutes, we're going to be taking a look over here. Let me try to pull up the chart. So we have, I can just pull up this chart over here. This gives it to us exactly as we want to see it. As we look at the next two waves into the blow off top, and we're going to look at precision ways to make sure that we are prepared ahead of time to trade that, whether it's Bitcoin without leverage, whether it's Bitcoin traded with loans against your holdings, lightly leveraged, or Bitcoin lightly leveraged. We're going to take a look at it all together. So everyone, I'm going to go out with some, we didn't play, I know it's Friday, Fajita Friday. We don't have a Fajita Friday song. We got HeadSnack though. Let's drop some HeadSnack over here.
Analyzing the charts, hitting projected targets within the margin. Find the flow, sip the matcha, and wait for the waves to come in with lobsters. The kind-hearted Jordan Fosters, working smarter, not harder to move the markers. On his way to conquer, trading and investing, drinking the coffee while reflecting on the blessing. The markets are not crashing, the prices might be slashing just to pretend they're in fashion. Need a like button, comments, and smash it. Boom, boom, Jordan in the room. Grab the bull by the horns and to the moon. Flow from the plateau, make the play. Boom, boom, it's a taco day.
It's a taco day. It's a taco day. Yeah, cut that out. Yeah, so it's a really good question over here, right? So listen, what do you think about alts in general? If Bitcoin's going to hit between $300,000 and $500,000, ridiculous numbers, I don't even like to talk about them, right? We've given our price projections and why. We always make sure everyone has that situational awareness, but we focus in on where we need to focus in on. Right now, it's the double wave into the blow off top, right? We're focused where it matters most. But if Bitcoin is going to hit these dizzying numbers between $300,000 and $500,000, what's going to happen to altcoins, right? Aren't they going to be like super duper high? Yes. Alt season outperforms. Made that case very clearly as early on as possible. alts outperform Bitcoin during alt season. Alt season begins approximately 6 months after the Bitcoin halving. As Bitcoin is reaching or close to all-time highs, all of a sudden people want to speculate. They feel like they missed Bitcoin. They speculate in altcoins, and then that rampant speculation, it leads to a blow off top. The altcoin blow off top is different than the Bitcoin blow off top. The Bitcoin is the rising tide that lifts all boats. The only reason there's alt season and a cycle is because of Bitcoin. All of this stems from the halving of Bitcoin, right? And you have, again, there's a lot of people out there telling you that the Bitcoin halving, right? This is that Benjamin guy. The Bitcoin halving has nothing to do with what happens on Bitcoin. It just shows a severe lack of understanding of the 4-year cycle, but a severe lack. And I'm willing to help if you want to understand. But if you're just some guy that needs to like build up their own narrative, then I'm going to come at you. I don't have time. What you're doing is dangerous out there. That's all I have to say. It's dangerous. But alt season, yeah. Look at the video we did when to exit altcoins. Look, but if you want to understand this stuff, you have to look at the training session we did. It was 2 weeks ago, the CTM live training session that talks about when alts make that massive move, that what 3-week period they're making their massive move, and when, and how we use Bitcoin to know when that's happening and lining up, right? If you want to be focused, if you want to be focused, focus in at the most precision, opportune times, and then do it. Hey, everyone, I'll see you in a little bit. I'll see you in about 39. I'm going to post the link in the Discord announcements channel. I'll also send it out to you by email, and then we'll take this up, and we're going to be looking at trading laser precision these next 2 waves into the blow off top, making sure that we're there to conquer the markets, take full advantage of this 4-year cycle. A lot of people, by the way, where could I find that beautiful chart, Ian? A lot of people, right? They're changing their time preference. Most people are in this bull market in the euphoria part of it. They just think that you could just buy altcoins and get rich. They don't understand like what happened in 2017. I know a lot of people that made serious like money in 2017. I don't know any of them who held on to it, making serious money with altcoins. But will they this cycle? Yes. They know this cycle. I do believe that, childhood friends, best friends growing up with, that I think that this time they're going to know, and it's going to be different. And a lot of people in the space also have much better awareness. But again, there's a bunch of people that are just going to be like buying Dogecoin and thinking it's going. They don't understand money. They don't understand Bitcoin. They don't understand that the reason that altcoins are being speculated right now is because of Bitcoin and its 4-year cycle. Right? But what we're doing is we're changing our time preference. We're not worried just about this, having that calmness and clarity that we have. We're setting up for this, right? Increasing drastically our overall position, getting ready to do that again, because the next Bitcoin bull market, the next 4-year cycle, we are looking at Bitcoin trading over $1 million. You gotta make moves today. You gotta have the time preference, because 4 years is not a lot of time. 4 years is going to come and go so quickly. Could you imagine? I know a lot of you are not touching Bitcoin lightly leveraged this cycle. You're so smart, you're so calculated that there's no rush, that you could achieve what you set out to achieve on Bitcoin, epic things, without any leverage, and keep continuing to educate yourself and understand, so that at the right time, you're going to be able to position yourself in and correctly with light leverage, and being able to ride up that. This is the wave that could change a lot of lives over here. And we're preparing ourselves and preparing all of you for it. All right, everyone. Listen, if you're leaving and you didn't smash the like button, I got to ask you one more time. You got to show some love over here. Let's get out of here with some Honey Mood instrumental, and I'll see you all in a little bit. Newbies, first of all, you should be watching the training sessions that we do inside CTM. You should be hanging out, observing everything in the Discord. And more than that, you should be focused only on Bitcoin. You should be focused only on Bitcoin. And you should be getting that right. and you should be preparing yourself for next cycle, understanding the alt season, how you want to play it, or looking over here to short alts over here in the bear market. But again, if you're starting and you're a newbie, you got to get right. You got to get things right. Yes, of course. Of course. Check your bulk folders. You got an email that tells you what module has the link to the Discord on it. Of course, you could be there live, and if not, you're definitely going to have access to the replay and all past replays. No question about that. Thank you, Sven. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that very much. Awesome avatar right over there as well. Thank you, Paco Day. Appreciate every one of you. Thank you for the kind words for the session. We were so light on likes, I didn't know who was coming. It was such an important session. It's so important to talk about those things. And as we see so much noise put out there, that we make sure that we continue to be laser focused on signal. Sometimes reach out and try to help someone. If they're not interested, well, then the New Yorker might come out. We got to make sure everyone stays on the right side of the trade. Everyone is able to achieve legendary things. All right, everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in just a little bit. Everyone out, have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. I'll see you all on Monday. Take care, and God bless you. I'm looking forward to it. So excited for it. Ian, look at this beautiful chart, Ian. Ian's artwork over here is conquering markets all day long. I just want to stare at it. I just want to stare at it all the time. You know? So anyway, NFT Ian right here. You know, future $1 million NFT. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.